When I book something, when somebody calls me to book a session with me, I try not to connect because they're going to be getting messages. Their souls have sent them to me in some crazy way, okay? Maybe they were in a supermarket and mentioned something, how they're having problems, and the person says, hey, I know this guy, and they send them to me. I've had people walk into stores, okay, tell me, I don't know why I walked in here. 2 stores I was at working, okay? I don't do the blind side, by the way. One woman walks into the store. It's a rainy day. I was doing sessions. I don't do stores anymore, but we're there, myself and the owner, and we're talking. And this woman walks in. She says, I was passing the store, and I saw this sign, and I just felt I had to come in here. I don't know why. She said, but I'm here. Maybe I'll buy some crystals. Now, I'm not a New Agey guy. I don't live in Rainbow Town and Unicorn Farm. You guys know that, okay? So I know nothing about crystals. So the woman's talking to the owner, and I'm just standing there listening. And all of a sudden, I got a woman with me. The woman says, tell my daughter that to find her passion again. She really has to find her passion. So the woman says, I think I need another, and by the way, I'm arguing with the soul. No, I don't do that. I'm not telling her that. So next thing you know, the woman says, I think I need another crystal. I mean, she had like 4 or 5 on the counter. I said, get something pink for your passion. I don't know if there's pink crystals. I don't know if it does something for your passion. I'm sorry, I don't do that. Okay? The woman looks at me. She says, how did you know that? And I just kind of smiled. And I said, I told her who was telling me. I described the woman that was telling me. I said, I believe it might be your mother. And she said, yeah. She said, I really need to talk to you. We went back and we had our session. And she found a way through the messages from the souls that come through me on how to get to a better place that day. So she was driving on a rainy day, and it wasn't busy. She saw the sign in the store, and she knew she had to come in. She did, and she got messages for her mother. One other time that happened, no, it happened a couple of times, but one time in particular, I'm sitting in family court on a custody case with a family member. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, this woman walks in with her attorney. And I've got another woman with me. I heard mom, okay? So and she's saying, go over, tell my daughter everything's going to be okay. Go tell her it's going to be okay. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't do that. She said, go tell. I said, look, she's sitting with somebody. I'm not going to do that. So the woman, who happened to be her attorney, gets up and walks away. She said, go now, go. I said, no, I'm not going to go. And the attorney came back. Now I figure, okay, the attorney went and did what she had to do. So everything's good, everything's done. So I said, okay, if the attorney leaves, I'll go talk to her. Well, damn if that attorney didn't get up and leave again. So I went over to her, and like I said, you don't know, not everybody believes in this, and I'm good with that. But sometimes you can get the wrong person that's ultra religious or whatever, and they'll attack you. So it's really not fair to do that to people. So I walked over to her, handed her my card. I said, listen, I don't know if you believe in this or not. She looks at it. Yeah, well, I don't know. She said, I said, but I got this woman, and I described her. And she's saying, mother. She said, that's my godmother. I said, well, your godmother wants you to know that everything's going to be okay today. Everything's going to work out. She looked at me. She said, on the way over, I was praying to my godmother to give me a sign that everything was going to be okay today. So I was that sign. And from what I saw, everything turned out well for her. I didn't talk to her about it, but they were smiling when they came out of the courtroom. So strange things happen. People find me in strange ways. Souls get to me. I've had situations when you call a book, I don't give you anything. Because if it's not, you're going to get messages that are important to you that the soul's told you about. That message has to get to you. So if I start telling you stuff, and this is a fear, it hasn't happened yet, and it doesn't make sense, you might not book, or you might think you got enough. I've had that, where they've gotten information, they've had enough, they never call back. Well, there's a lot more coming. So I try to stay away from that, and I was doing a booking the other night, and sure enough, this woman's spouse came through, man, like a rocket, okay? And we ultimately ended up doing a session. Right there and then. Right there. That's very rare, but this guy wanted to talk to his wife, and he did. All right, folks. As usual, always remain hopeful, never hopeless. Always be optimistic, never pessimistic. And be yourself. You got to be you. You got to be who you are. And find happiness, find some joy, get rid of any anger that you have, and live your life, the best life you can. You deserve it, and just why not? When you think, oh, I can't, why not? You're not going to have an answer to that why not. All right, guys, I'm out. Bye for now. Enjoy your day. I hope it's a beautiful day for you, wherever you might be. Talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me.